Ashley, and I'm the Wayward Stitcher, and today is July the 3rd. I hope those of you who are celebrating the long weekend are enjoying yourselves, getting lots of stitchy time. I have not had a whole lot of stitchy time this weekend. It's been busy with work and just some other little random things that I've been doing, kind of trying to get organized. It's been about a month and a half since my last video, and some of you who follow me on Instagram or are in any of the groups that I'm in on Facebook might already know why it's been that long. Last week on June the 24th, my great aunt passed away. She turned 99 the day before, and that has been a real struggle for me. My Auntie Elva was someone that I was very deeply connected with since a very young age. And I apologize if I get emotional. It's still very fresh for me. And we knew for a while that she was declining and that, the inevitable was coming, but you can think that you're as prepared as possible, but it still, is a massive shock when you lose someone that you love. So, her funeral was this past Wednesday, and I wrote and read her eulogy. And I was also a replacement pallbearer for my father, who unfortunately couldn't, do any of the lifting or anything like that. His health isn't exactly the best either. And so, so that he didn't have to struggle, I took his place. So that was very emotional for me as well. And, it was just, I did what I knew my aunt would want me to do. And, I took some real initiative with trying to prepare everything that I could for her service and all of that. And yeah, so it's been hard, and my stitchy bug hasn't been too affected, thankfully. I'm actually, for those of you who might not have heard, when I first did my get to know your needleworker tag like 6 or 7 years ago. I mean, that's a long time. And even if you have been with me since then, that was 6 years or 7 years ago. And so you might not remember, but my Auntie Elva was the person who first introduced me to cross stitching. And so I think the cross stitching has really been a bit of a crutch and a savior for me over the past 2 weeks to kind of help me cope with her loss, because I just think that her spirit will live on in me and all of my stitching. So yeah, I've just been trying really hard to keep going and not allow anything to drag me down too much. I'm allowed to miss her, I'm allowed to be sad, but I don't necessarily want it to cripple me. So and I don't think it has. I think I've done very well. In the time between her passing and her funeral, I was still going to work. So, just one of those things, kind of keep your mind busy so that you don't have time to sit and think and, really let it sink in that it, this type of thing has happened. And, she was buried in the same cemetery as my grandmother, my grandfather. So, while they're not buried that close to one another, I can still visit both of them at the same time. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a weekly ritual for me to go and spend some time with both of them at the cemetery. Because, it's strange during COVID, I couldn't really visit with my aunt too much, because you want to protect them as much as you can. And And so that was hard. And this last Christmas we never got to spend with her because of COVID. They had an outbreak at the home, and as we were sitting in the lobby waiting for our COVID tests to come back negative so we could go up to visit, they had to shut the place down, and everybody had to go. Like, the people that were there waiting to go visit family had to leave, and that was really, really hard for us, as we kind of figured it was going to be our last Christmas with her. And yeah, so, you know, but I'm trying to do the best I can, like I said, to move forward and, you know, not to let this get me down too much. I know she knows I miss her, and just the day after her funeral, this will be part of a later part of my video, but the day after her funeral, I think she knew that I was not feeling great and I needed a pick-me-up. And so I do have a few things here that I think were gifts from her. So anyway, that's what's been going on for the past few weeks. And before that, I think, you know, before I really knew she was declining, I think I was just not really feeling like videoing, just because I knew she wasn't doing well, and I was worried, and I was getting kind of anxious and stuff, knowing that, oh, you know, she was going to pass. And, you know, the week, especially the week leading up to her passing, was very difficult. You know, every phone call I got from my mother, I thought was, you know, the phone call, and it was just so stressful. And so today I'm filming with you guys today because I thought that while I had the apartment to myself, I would take this time to connect with you guys, and also to connect with myself, and give myself a chance to mourn and, you know, breathe and have that, you know, quality time for myself that I've been needing, you know, since this whole thing started. So yeah, I have quite a few things to show you guys today. So like I said, I was kind of busy, despite what has happened. And I do have a fair amount of haul for the end of the video. So those of you that don't want to watch the haul portion can just, you know, once I'm finished showing my whips and things like that, you guys can just head off, and that would be fine. Excuse me. And then I have like one shout out that I would like to do at the end as well, which I think will integrate itself in with part of my haul, just because this person has very much something to do with some of my haul. So yeah, so with that all aside, I think we'll get started. So the first project that I have to show today is my Sailor Venus figure by Abby Sue Designs. And with this lovely lady, I got, you know, a fair amount done. I was taking her to work with me and stitching on her between races. However, I did miss 2 Saturdays this past month in June because the first Saturday, not the first Saturday of June, but like the second Saturday of June, I was sick. And then the following Saturday was the day after my great aunt had passed away, and we had to deal with the funeral home and the nursing home and all of that. So, but this is where I have gotten on Sailor Venus. So I finished her skirt, which is awesome. I finished all of the orange that is in the project that needed to be done, so that's good. I have all those threads that I can now pack away. And this is being stitched on, I believe, a 16 count slate gray or slate blue Ada. And yeah, I was very, very happy with my progress on her this month. She's still not as close to a finish as I would like, but I still have some time to finish her. Maybe this coming Saturday I can take her to work again. However, this coming Saturday is one of our bigger race days. It's going to be Bob McClure Day, which is, he's one of the top drivers in our area, and so we're taking a day to celebrate him and his career. So it might not be as, slow enough for me to sit down and actually do some stitching, but you know, it is what it is. And of course, you know, as you do as stitchers sometimes, I sit down and I film this video and I have this list of things that I want to go over. Do you think that I mentioned half of those things before I started talking about my whips? Not really. But yeah, but maybe I'll take just a second then now while I'm thinking about it before carrying on with my other whips. The other thing that put me back in with my filming and why I wasn't you know, as you know, free to stitch and do all that kind of stuff is I got a new phone, so the quality might be a little bit better on my videos, might be a little bit brighter, and we bought a new car, so that's been crazy. And my boyfriend also bought me a PlayStation 5, so I've been spending a lot of time on that. And so yeah, a bunch of new stuff, and that's been kind of keeping me occupied. So yeah, the PlayStation is a bit of a problem. As you can imagine, I've been waiting for a while to have a PlayStation 5, and now that I have one, good luck keeping me off of it, right? If you're a gamer, you understand. But yeah, those are just a few of the other things that have kind of kept me busy. And excuse me while I take a drink. So, the next whip that I have today is my Canadian Beauty by Joan Elliott. And now I know in my last video I mentioned that I was going to do Monogamous May and that I was going to do all this work on her and blah blah blah. But as Calico had stated in her most recent video, which I just watched this morning, there should always be like a disclaimer at the beginning of these videos. Be like, oh, plans should be subject to change, right? Because we all just, a lot of us do that, right? We make all these elaborate plans, we want to do them, and then we all just get distracted by the new shiny things, right? Anyways, so this is where I am with Miss Canadian Beauty. And, you know, Canada Day was just 2 days ago, and you think I would have pulled her out to work on her a little. I didn't. No, I did not. So, as you can see, I just put some work in her wings there. So, that's pretty much all the love she got from me. And I gave her a nice little iron, and I took her to the Q-snap because I wasn't sure when I was going to work on her again, because I do have a few other things now that kind of need to take priority again. As much as I said I wanted to get this done by September, there's something that I also need to get done by October, so that's also like a thing. So yeah, lovely working on her, and she's being stitched on a 28 count of a fabric color and designer that I don't know, but she's lovely, and I'll get back to her eventually, just not right now. I'm too focused on other stuff. And so my next whip is my Max Color Tiger Family in the Jungle by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is a Jan Patrick Krasny artwork, which also the lovely Darren at Dizzy Stitcher is also stitching, but he's stitching the supersize Max Color, and his is just gorgeous. But there's been quite a bit of work on this since my last video, and I'm going to try to pull some of the park threads out of the way. But that's where we're at. So I was taking this page and I was going to work a lot in all the 310, and I was going to, you know, put all the 310 in and get that finished. So then comes along this new method called Royal Rose, and I know many of you Hay stitchers are familiar with the term and are even trying it yourselves, and so you might not be able to tell right away, but I have started going back into this corner so I can do my Royal Rose and carry across. My first thought was that I was going to stitch down to the toucan and stitch him because, you know, he's a toucan and he's gorgeous. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to actually take this Royal Rose method and work with it and see how it does for me. See if it helps my stitching go faster. And if it does, I might stick with it. And if it doesn't, then I might just go back to my, you know, cross country and see how that works. I mean, you know, these methods don't always work for everyone, so you know, everybody's got their own preferences as to what they like and don't like, and some people like to park their threads and some people don't. And see, like for me, I don't mind parked threads, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So that's my Tiger Family of the Jungle Max Color. So that's coming along nicely. And then the last whip that I have to show you guys today is my Japanese Garden by Dimensions, which I pulled out during the time of my Auntie Elvis passing to work on, because it kind of brought me a little bit of serenity just looking at the colors, and just the photo in general is just so pretty and calm. And so I wanted to work on it for a while. And this is my progress. So I've done quite a bit since my last showing of this project. I started working towards the bridge and doing some of that, and then I started bringing over here so I could do the flower bush, and I started the tree and the rock underneath this little pagoda, or whatever you want to call that, little lantern. And Mary the Daydream Stitcher has she brought this up and now I can't unsee it, which is kind of crazy. But she says this here, if you look at it, it reminds her of Donald Duck. And I can see that. It might not remind me specifically of Donald Duck, but it does remind me of a duck. Because, you know, you have the two eyes, then there's like, you know, the head of the duck, and then here's the beak, you know, and there's the body of the duck. Like, I can see it. And now I can't unsee it, and it's crazy. So thank you for that, Mary. But yeah, that's coming along really nicely. So glad to be stitching on that. I might see some more love soon, I'm not really sure. But yeah, we'll see. And now on to my two new starts. So the first new start was a Sal that Calico Whimsy and myself started on the 1st of June. She has finished. Which, I mean, Calico, sometimes I think that your needle must be blazing through the month, because you stitch so much so fast, and I envy you. I wish I had that kind of stamina for stitching. But anyway, so the two of us decided on June the 1st that we would start the Buttons and Beads Mill Hill Honeybee. And like I said, she's finished her. She's already got it framed and everything. And it looks great. But, you know, I'm the slow stitcher, so that should be my new YouTube name, Ashley the Slow Stitcher. Because it's the truth. But this is where I got with my little honeybee. Just worked on the body. That's all I got done. So it's better than nothing. But I think if I can start doing the background, it'll go really quickly. So, but yeah, he's really cute. And I love working on it when I sit down to work on it. It's a nice quick stitch. So I should really, you know, like her, I should just sit down and focus and I would get these things done, you know. But again, alas, there's always other things and that, you know, take precedence and importance and all that. So hopefully maybe the next time you have a video from me, this might be finished. I'm not sure yet. And my last new start is my Hummingbirds and Rhododendrons. I can never say that word, which is this lovely piece here by Custom Crafts Incorporated. Bring that in just a little bit better so you guys can see beautiful hummingbirds and flowers. And so I did start this, and that is where I'm at. Just a little meager start. I did start this the other day, and the chart calls for 14 count, but I swapped out to 18 count just to make it more manageable, because I am going to be traveling with this project closer to the end of the year. Like in October, I'm going to Nova Scotia, and this project has to come with me. So, and by that time it has to be finished. So, just to make it easier to travel with, I put it in something smaller. So I just started on the leaf there, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, is one of these leaves right here. So, and this is just being stitched on the 18 count Fiddler's Ada. So I thought, you know, Calico a while back made a valid point that pretty much anything you stitch would look good on this fabric. So I was gonna buy like a blue fabric, but when I saw this I was like, that should work just fine, because like, look at this. This isn't really too far off of what Fiddler's cloth is anyway, so why not just use it? So I'm using it, and I have plenty left over for other projects, so yep. So that's that. So those are my projects for this week. So a few projects, not as much stitching done on some of them as I would have liked, but again, you know, life is life, and we all know what just happened. So, you know, with that, I think I can allow myself the excuse of not having more done. And so now is going to come the haul portion of my video. So if you guys don't like to see haul, then I really appreciate you guys for coming, and I hope that you can stop by again soon and have a great stitchy time. And for those of you that are continuing to stay with me, let's bring on the haul, because my phone says I have about 8 minutes left to chat, so let's see if I can get it done. I bought this cute little book bag that I think would be great to carry small projects in, like my hummingbirds, my mill hills and stuff. So cute. There is a book in it right now, but yeah, I got this and I thought it was so cute and was like, I have to have this. I have to have it. So needless to say, I bought it. So that's one thing. And then the rest of this is most of this is thrift store stuff, but I'll share with you the non-thrift store stuff, and then we'll go through the thrift store stuff. So I'm just going to do my shout out now to Jamie at Teeny Weeny Stitches. I was just in the process of watching her latest video when I started filming this, so I haven't quite finished that yet, but Jamie is amazing, and she's so easy to listen to, and she's got some beautiful projects on the go, and she's got a variety of different things. So please do go and give Jamie some love, and you know, give her a subscription if you can. That would be fantastic. And it's thanks to her that I have these two purchases here. So the first purchase is Winter Cabin, a Dimensions Gold kit that, thanks to her, I was able to buy for $16 Canadian, which is a steal, because these are like worth $40 or $50. So very glad to have this. This was an Amazon find. And with that, I also purchased Good Morning, which I bought at full price, because full price for this wasn't any more than this. So yeah, I paid about $30 for both, so that wasn't too bad. I was pretty happy with that find. And then the rest of my haul actually comes from the thrift store. So the first bit of my haul was from a trip I made to the thrift store about maybe 2 weeks ago, which isn't anything extravagant, but you know, I found it, so I bought it. Is this Winnie the Pooh Merry Christmas to You booklet, which has some really cute little designs on them of Winnie the Pooh. And I've always loved Winnie the Pooh since I was a kid. Who doesn't love Winnie the Pooh? So I decided I needed to have this. Will I stitch these? I don't know. Will I use this for a giveaway item? Potentially. So who knows about that. And then the other thing I bought at that trip to the store was a sunset kit, which is long ago retired. It's from 1988, so this kit is as old as I am. Now you know my age. But it's a big one, and it's just a little one that I think is going to be quick. It's called Northern Heritage, I think, is what the pattern's called. But it's one of those, the background's printed and then you just stitch in the blank space. So this is it. This massive, massive project of an eagle looking for his dinner. And if that isn't an eagle, I'm going to be sad and depressed. But based on the color palette that's in the kit, I am fairly certain that that's an eagle. So I bought it with the intention of stitching it for my boyfriend, which, you know, he's like, you know, why haven't you stitched on the eagle for me that you were going to make for me for my birthday? Like forever ago. Like it's been sitting and you haven't done anything on it. Shh. I'll get there. Shh. Don't ask me about it because then I won't want to stitch on it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Now this next bit of haul is the haul that I said was a gift from my aunt. I think the day after she passed, or the day after we buried her, my Auntie Elba was looking out for me immensely. And she knew I needed a huge pick-me-up. So somehow, some way, these acquisitions are thanks to her. And I fully believe that. I'm not a very spiritual person, really. I'm not really that religious, but I strongly believe that this was a gift from her. So, I'm never this lucky at the thrift store. This was the same thrift store that I bought those two previous items that I just showed you. I'm never this lucky at this store, ever. A full gold collections kit for $5, winter retreat. It's completely unopened, hasn't been touched. Another completely unopened kit, another Dimensions North Wind Owl, $5. Yeah. Here's one of the good ones. $7.99, which I don't mind. A retired Dimensions kit, Magic in Motion, which is the wizard. And everything looks to be in order here. So, I'm really thrilled about that one, because I'm sure lots of people have this on their wish list. I'm saving the best for last here. Then I got, for $2.99, a big package of perforated paper from Mill Hill. There's some gold. I'm not really sure what other colors. There's some regular perforated paper in here as well, like ones that you would make. This is more like a it's a thicker one, but the ones in the middle are a little smaller. So some perforated paper, can't go wrong with that. And then here's the big one that I was like, oh my god, about. Marjolaine Baston, which is a designer that Calico absolutely loves. And so when I saw this, I couldn't help but think of her, and I freaked out. For $5.99, Marjolaine Baston's The Four Seasons full kit. And there's a big wad of floss in there. A big wad of floss. And this has been unopened. So when I tell you that I think my auntie was looking out for me this day when I found all these kits, I mean it. There was another lady there that had been looking at these. She was looking in the rack right next to it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can see Dimensions kits. I need to get in there and get them before she does. So I like snuck in. I was like, yes, 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 yes. And I just took everything and ran. So, which mean, like, I mean, that sounds a little bit selfish, but at the same token, you know, I saw them. I got there first. She wasn't looking at those. She was looking at something else, and I thought, I think she might have had her eye on them, but yeah, I just, because I'm never that lucky and I needed that pick-me-up, I allowed myself that. So, yeah. So, that's going to be it for me because my phone's going to cut me off, guys. So, I really, really appreciate you being with me this week, and I'm hoping that I can get another video out to you guys sooner rather than later. So, thank you guys so much. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye!